Welcome, everyone, and thank you for a great turnout. My name is Sabrina Laga, and I am LEAP's Portfolio Director and will be your moderator for today's webinar. As you know, we recently launched the Healthy Futures Accelerator, a 5-year accelerator with financial contribution from the Public Health Agency of Canada. Through this accelerator, we will select and scale 11 high-impact ventures that prevent chronic disease and improve the health outcomes for all Canadians. So many of you know the dire effects of chronic disease on Canadians and are working on incredible initiatives to address the social determinants of health and to change behavior in today's world, particularly among the vulnerable and underserved communities. LEAP is seeking to select 11 game-changing social ventures that encourage Canadians to eat healthier, move more, smoke less, and provide them the support they need to increase the depth and breadth of their impact to achieve a healthier Canada. Today, our objective is twofold. We're hoping you get to know us, the team members, and to see who you will work with and provide you a forum to answer some of the questions we've been receiving. Before we dig in, a few housekeeping notes. There will be a French broadcast immediately following this session at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're unfamiliar with the Zoom platform, there is a chat box function at the bottom of your screen. Please type in your questions here. We'll also have a few poll questions. We'll indicate when you should expect those, and a poll question will pop up on your screen. Please take a few seconds to participate. As an attendee, you'll be able to hear and see panelists. However, your microphone will be on mute. We apologize in advance in case there are any technical issues on Zoom. We are at the mercy of everyone's internet connections and Zoom. Please note, a recording will be shared on our social media immediately after this event, so please do follow us. Lastly, we have developed and shared frequently asked questions for your reference on our website. And today, we hope we can provide you a bit more detail and color to some of those responses. For those of you that have been unable to submit questions in advance, we please encourage you to send your questions live. We will do our best to get to them today, and can also update the FAQ section on the webpage following today's event. Before diving in, we wanted to provide you a brief overview of LEAP in case you're unfamiliar with us. At LEAP, we believe in a society where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. The team at LEAP works together to catalyze large-scale social impact by selecting, supporting, and scaling breakthrough social ventures. And we do this by unleashing and unlocking the potential of collaboration. We've done this by creating a network of private sector pro bono support partners. An example of our work and its impact, LEAP has worked alongside our first portfolio venture and enabled them to expand their national footprint from 25 delivery sites to over 50 since 2013. Our team and partners have provided holistic and strategic support, including ongoing leadership and coaching, development of a robust IT platform, the creation of marketing materials and plans, the development of a long-term sustainability and funding strategy, as well as an implementation plan. This is an example of many targeted projects and support a venture like you can expect to receive from LEAP. And now I want to introduce you to some of our team members. Ankita Rao, our portfolio manager, and Kevin Yu, our portfolio analyst, will help us answer some of your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Good afternoon, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be with all of you here today. As Sabrina mentioned, my name is Ankita Rao, and I am a portfolio manager here at LEAP. I also wanted to take this opportunity to provide a bit of background on myself and what brought me here to LEAP. So before joining this organization, I worked with TechnoServe to lead the access to finance strategy and implementation out in West Africa for a program to develop the cashew value chain in Benin. But prior to that, I worked as a management consultant for about 6 years in strategy and operations with EY Canada. As much as I enjoyed the problem-solving aspect of my job then, deep down inside, I knew I wanted to be solving a different type of problem, specifically those faced in our social sector. And that's what brought me to LEAP. And that is what makes me so excited about healthy futures and the potential to work with all the passionate social leaders, such as yourselves, that are working to solve today's public health challenges.
And thanks, Ankita, and good afternoon, everyone. So this is Kevin, and I currently work as a portfolio analyst at LEAP. Prior to joining LEAP, I have held diverse analytical roles across impact investing, risk management, and capital markets, and have developed a great sense of appreciation for the journey that I have been through. In turn, LEAP has enabled me to recognize the everyday struggles that are faced by Canadians across various social areas, which includes health, and the responsibility that everyone has at the end of the day to collaborate and solve these difficulties together using their respective expertise. I too am very excited to be part of the Healthy Futures Accelerator and having the opportunity to work and learn alongside leaders of incredible organizations like those of you listening currently and who are striving to solve the most pressing needs of the health of Canadians today.
Thank you, Ankita and Kevin. Lastly, a bit about myself and what motivates me to do this work. Before joining LEAP, I was an entrepreneur working across various African and Asian markets and worked as a leadership coach with business and social sector leaders. As an entrepreneur, I worked in numerous geographic markets, and across them all, I've consistently seen that high impact, high potential social enterprises and entrepreneurs were under-resourced, and purely due to market failures outside of their control. I got involved with LEAP because of its ambitious goal. I bring my experience to support teams, helping address society's most intractable problems. I'm extremely excited about Healthy Futures and to be working with you and your organizations to build capacity and to scale your impact. Now let's get right into it. Our first set of questions are around the accelerator itself. What does it mean when LEAP says accelerator? Before we dive into this question, we wanted to understand how many of you have previously participated in an accelerator. You'll see a pop-up poll question on your screen. We'll give you a few seconds to enter your responses. Looks like only a few of you have participated in an accelerator previously. We hope that after today's webinar, you get a better sense of what LEAP means by an accelerator and what you can expect to receive with us. Let's spend some time describing our accelerator, the various streams we have. Of the 11 ventures, 10 of you will be selected for our accelerator and 1 for the scaling stream. We define ventures in the Accelerator as early stage social enterprises with promising ideas, strong leadership, and an identifiable impact potential. On the other hand, in our scaling stream, these ventures are growth stage ventures with proven impact and a strong leadership. Regardless of which stream a venture is selected for, at the end of the program, all ventures will graduate to our alumni stream, where they will continue to receive support from LEAP and share insights through workshops and networking events.
Thanks, Sabrina. Related to that, we have also been asked about the types of support a venture can expect should they be selected. And we wanted to clarify that here today. So as an accelerator venture, you will work directly with elite portfolio team members, such as one of us, to define 1 to 2 targeted projects in areas that are mutually deemed most important. Now, you may ask what these types of projects could be. Examples can include anything from defining government relations strategy, if that is what is most important. Perhaps it is designing a fundraising plan that is key to your goals, or it's overall enhancing operational effectiveness. Once these projects are scoped, we identify the right sector partner to engage to run these defined projects. In parallel, you can also expect to receive support through a cohort-based skills and capacity building workshops. On the other hand, as a scaling venture, we would work with you to develop a 5-year strategic growth plan to scale your impact, and then create an implementation plan to support the execution. Defined projects would then be scoped based on this implementation plan, and similarly to what we do with Accelerator Ventures, we will identify the right sector partners to engage to run these defined projects. What's important to note, though, is regardless of which stream you are selected for, our model is based on working with you one-on-one, which means understanding that each organization is unique with its own story of how it has come about and its vision for the future. We truly see ourselves as your thought partners and champions of your work. This leads to a couple of other questions we have received, which are, one, can these scope projects be something that a venture has already been thinking about and meaning to execute on, but hasn't yet? And how exactly LEAP supports delivery of these scope projects? I'll let Sabrina tackle these one by one.
Thank you, Ankita. Absolutely. Regarding these types of targeted projects, it is very much a collaborative approach. We will work with you, identify what is the best and most impactful area or areas to focus on to get you to your desired goal. We will work with you, and together we will identify the optimal approach. Regarding how we will support, as Ankita mentioned, the delivery of these scope projects, again, this is thanks to our amazing network of private sector partners, namely Boston Consulting Group, EY, McCarthy Tétrault, Offord Group, H&K Strategies, and Google.org. They represent a broad spectrum of expertise, from strategic and operational advisory to legal, marketing, and technology support. The LEAP team brings their expertise alongside our sector partners to help you achieve your desired goals. Once a project is scoped, we will identify the most optimal expertise required, and the relevant sector partner will provide individuals with pro bono support to execute alongside you and LEAP.
Thanks, Sabrina. Funding was another question that we had received from the ventures. Specifically, the applicants have asked for more information on the types of funding that is available throughout the Healthy Futures Accelerator. We're looking to provide at a minimum between $100,000 to $300,000 of funding to the ventures in the program with the potential for more. The exact amount as well as its distribution process will be disclosed once the final ventures have been selected post the due diligence phase of our program. LEAP will then work with you to identify the key opportunity areas as well as what's the most optimal way in which the funding can help your operation. And as Ankita has mentioned earlier, we do want to stress that our model is working with you personalized one-on-one to identify specific support targets that are addressed to your needs.
Thanks, Kevin. We recognize funding as a key challenge faced by many ventures trying to reach their goals. We want to take a moment here to introduce a poll question to get to better understand the types of challenges you are encountering in your organization. You'll see a pop-up poll question. Please take a few seconds to respond. It looks like an interesting mix of challenges. We hope that the Healthy Futures Accelerator can help solve these constraints for the ventures selected.
Thanks for that, Sabrina. Now let's go into a couple of questions we received related to the eligibility and the selection process. And one question we have been asked quite a few times is on the types of public health ventures we are looking for, including if we have any restrictions on the type, size, or maturity level of organizations that can apply. So essentially, we are looking for innovative interventions whose outcomes lead to Canadians eating healthier, moving more and sitting less, or smoking less, with the end goal of reversing the trend in rising chronic disease rates we are seeing. And we want to work with these interventions selected to scale their impact to achieve a healthier Canada. Given this end goal, we do not want to put any restrictions on the type of organization being selected, whether you are for-profit or nonprofit, or maybe even delivering your intervention through a partnership with another organization. We really do encourage you to apply as long as you have a social mandate and a focus on impact in the 3 issue areas noted, namely healthy eating, physical activity, or smoking cessation. Second, we don't want to put any restrictions on the maturity level of the organization either, no matter how early stage or mature. And important to note is this includes if you are at the idea stage. So as long as your intervention leads to the outcomes noted above, we would love for you to apply, and just please ensure to provide clear explanations in the application of mission, vision, intended impact, and any other details. And lastly, we do not want to put any restrictions on organization size either. As we had explained earlier, the way we work is by forming deep partnerships with the ventures in our portfolio. So as long as there are 1 to 2 key points of contact identified that our teams can work with to form this partnership and eventually scope and implement the project, we would love for you to apply, noting details about your current organization structure in the application. Also here, wanted to take a moment to highlight that even if you are a venture that is in the process of evolving or adapting, because this is something that we've heard through conversations with ventures, please do apply and explain within the application any pivoting or evolving being done with goals that you wish to achieve with this pivot. We really do want to support any and all programs looking to pivot in order to be more effective and impactful.
Thanks, Ankita. Another question we had received from organizations are those working with multiple interventions as to how can they best identify what to highlight and put forth in the application process, especially given that a lot of organizations that we work with do have multiple programs or interventions. We did want to spend some time in answering this question. In the past few months, we did have a research partnership with the Boston Consulting Group to author a report titled The Need for Action Report, which critically examines factors influencing Canadians' struggle to move more, sit less, eat healthier, and stop smoking. The report finds that more than 40% of Canadians have failed to meet the physical activity guidelines, 70% failing to meet the consume adequate fruits and vegetable servings, with 16% of Canadians continuing to smoke, as well as vaping is on the rise. We have used these findings to derive a few of our investment thesis to inform our understanding in the gaps, as well as identify the greatest needs in which the Canadians need in their preventative health ecosystem. We encourage you to read this report to really think about which of your programs may be most aligned with what we're looking for. If you believe you have more than one intervention that may be suitable, please do provide all pertaining information on these programs. In the application form, we have provided a section for you to give additional information, which you can use to explain these as well.
Before moving on to the next question, we want to understand how many of you have had the chance to read the Need for Action report. Give you a few seconds to respond. Seems like many of you have yet to read it. We encourage you to navigate to the Need for Action section on the Healthy Futures website to download and read the report. As mentioned by Kevin, the contents of the report provides a good overview of what we see as current gaps and should provide a good rationale for why your work is critical. As you can see, data and measurement is critical to our approach. This is reflected in our selection process, which is what the next question is about. How will ventures be evaluated? Ventures who demonstrate strong and passionate leadership, impact creation, and potential for scale are best positioned to benefit from the Healthy Futures Accelerator. But let's break this down for you. What do we mean by each of these categories? Passionate leadership. In our experience, a venture with a dedicated and passionate leadership team benefits the most from working with us. As explained earlier, we work by forming deep partnerships with our ventures and its leadership. We collaborate, co-create, and having a dedicated leadership team becomes a key success factor to our work. In the application form, you can describe your organizational structure. And in the additional documentation section, please upload CVs of your executive director or CEO and the executive team. Second, impact creation. When we say impact creation, we're looking to evaluate the intervention or the model and the ability for it to generate long-term positive health outcomes for Canadians to eat healthier, be more physically active, or smoke less. Our application form asks specific questions on your theory of change and how you measure your impact to help with this evaluation. We encourage you to explain in the application form if and how your theory of change is backed by an evidence base. Third, potential for scale. One of the goals of the Accelerator is to identify interventions and models that have the ability to scale and can positively impact as many Canadians as possible. Given this, our application form asks specific questions on the scalability potential. I hope this makes it clear.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Sabrina. Okay, we're now getting into our last set of questions, which is around working style. And one question that we have been asked from a few ventures is, how does LEAP work with ventures in their portfolio? So we are conscious that many of you have worked with different types of partners in the past with varied working styles. Here at LEAP, we focus on very much a collaborative approach, as has been mentioned by my colleagues Kevin and Sabrina, wherein any decision, whether it is deciding on the type of project to scope or the key activities in an implementation plan, we really prefer to align on by working closely together. And this is for a very simple reason. We recognize that at the end of the day, you know your venture best. And our goal is to use our expertise to support you in getting you to where you want.
Another closely related question is around the time commitment for the ventures on our accelerator. And given our collaborative working style, the importance that we place on building a trusted partnership with you in the long term, we expect that there will be quite a bit of a commitment, approximately around 8 to 10 hours per week on average, required from the ventures upfront. Particularly as we work to provide the ventures with the foundational tools as well as the resources to really set them up for success during the course of the accelerator as well as beyond. Going forward, once we have scoped out relevant projects and they are in the implementation phase, the time commitments will vary depending on the projects themselves. And this can range anywhere between 6 to 8 hours per week on average.
We've also been asked from ventures our method of program delivery, especially for ventures not located in Toronto. Are they expected to attend in-person events? This is a fantastic question. Given that Healthy Futures is a national accelerator, we are looking for innovative interventions from across the country. LEAP has designed the program to accommodate a fully virtual delivery, which is essential given the new work from home model being experienced by many of us today. From our experience in the past few months, we've been able to continue the same quality and rigor of support to our portfolio ventures virtually, and we feel confident that we'll be able to do the same with Healthy Futures. Additionally, the sector partners we work with have offices across the country. It is our intention that you will work and we will identify resources from the relevant regional offices based on where you are located.
Great, and that wraps up all the pre-submitted questions. Before moving on, we also wanted to take this time to leave you with a tip on the application form. For those of you who have already had a chance to access it, you may have noticed that we have provided an optional section at the end of this application form, and this is essentially to describe more about your organization. We also have a section for additional documents, and just wanted to provide some examples of what you could upload here. This could include things like your annual financial statements. It could also include a research or evidence base that supports your theory of change. As Sabrina mentioned earlier, impact creation is a criteria for us. So this is where you can upload some supporting documents. Feel free to upload CVs of your executive team. Again, leadership is a criteria that we look at, so that could help us in making the evaluation. Any strategic planning documents would also be useful, especially if you're a program that may be in the process of pivoting. Perhaps that could provide us a better understanding as well of your intended impact. So yeah, I'll pass it over back to Sabrina now.
Thanks, Ankita. I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to take a second to answer some of the questions that we've gotten on the chat. Do you determine if the applicant qualifies for the accelerator or scaling, or should we specify? There's no need to specify. We will be determining, you will come through, all applications will come through together, and we have a process to determine the 11 most impactful ventures and which stream would be best suited for them. So no need to do that. And the other question was around interest in prevention of neurodegenerative diseases, dementia in particular. I would suggest that any applications that you do send have a direct link to prevention of chronic disease. So please do identify how your venture impacts that criteria. You can find more information about that by reading the report, as well as in our FAQs. In terms of past alumni that you could chat with, we have all of our ventures are listed on our website, as well as we do have case studies that will showcase the work that we've been able to do with our alumni. For other questions, there is one more question around funding that I will try to get to, and then given time, we do promise we will be in touch and we will write to you directly to answer some of your questions. The last question that I will take is the funding is grant-based, and so we will provide, as we said earlier, a minimum of $100,000 to $300,000 with the opportunity for more, but we will work with you to figure out how and when that money is distributed. Again, please do visit our FAQ section for more information. And I'd also want to just encourage you, please do let your teams know and yourself. We are here to answer any questions, any specific questions. So we encourage you to write us an email. We can be reached at info@leap-pecaucenter.ca. We'd be happy to answer any questions at all, as specific, or even schedule a call with you to answer those questions. We look forward to hearing from you. And we also want to remind you, the questions received today, we will try our best to get back to you as soon as possible, and we will be updating our FAQs posted on the website. I want to thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate it. For those of you that have submitted via the chat function, again, we will be in touch directly. We look forward to reviewing your applications, which are received through the website by the close date of June 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, applications must be received via the website. Please do share the news of the Healthy Futures Accelerator with other organizations that are doing great work in this space. Together, we believe we can make material impact on public health in Canada. We hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.